Hello and welcome. Episode 6 of the Sounds from the Dockside Podcast with me, your host Dave. Today in the engine room, we've got Grimsby singer-songwriter Sam Simmons.
Hello, hello.
How's it going, Sam? You all right?
Very good, thank you. Are you?
Yeah, very well, yeah. Flagging a bit. This is the second one we've done today. And
Me too, mate, always.
yeah, I didn't realise how exhausting talking could be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're locked in, you know.
Oh, certainly, yeah.
So we like to start a podcast just by getting to know a bit about our guests. So music aside, just take us right back to the beginning. Who is Sam?
Who is Sam?
Who is Sam? Other than a name.
Question. Well, I'm 35, a father of two, got two little boys. Dylan is 4, Toby 1. Outside of music, it's hard to say outside of music because it's just music all the time with me.
I mean, just take us back to the beginning. Tell us a bit about you growing up.
I was late getting into music in general. I was about 13, 14 when it sort of like hit me. I started getting really into certain bands.
Yeah.
And then just discovering more and more and more. And then I just, I got a guitar and just played it really badly until I played it all right. Then I could play it a bit better.
So, taking it back to the beginning, what first drew you into music? Was there a specific artist or a specific band or?
I think sort of Stone Roses and that kind of thing was first. Well, no, actually I was into metal before that.
Really?
And I still am. I still like metal and stuff.
Yeah.
But I like all kinds of music, but yeah, Stone Roses. I think they were the first band where it was kind of like you can sing that way. You know what I mean? There's a slight sort of like effeminate sort of thing to the vocal and stuff. It's like, oh, you can sing softly, and it's like I like that. And then it just, you know, it's just a snowball, isn't it? You get into more and more. Then you kind of find the balance in between heavy music and like more melodic music, like Smashing Pumpkins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you just... There's CDs at the time, really, that I was buying all, you know, just going to HMV all the time, just buying CDs up and just listening all the way through them. And yeah.
You still got them all? Do you keep them?
Nah, I gave them all away.
Really?
Yeah, I was probably I gave them all away.
I've got a box of CD. Admittedly, you know, they've been stolen. I've lent them to people over the years and that, and it's dwindled down, but I've still got a box full of CDs I've got. Yeah. And they're all in the attic because I don't have a CD player in the house anymore, you know.
Well, the car's got a player. And they're so cheap now, like £2 or something.
Well, ironically, about 3 years ago, I mean, you know my dad, don't you?
Yeah.
About 3 years ago for Christmas, I got a compact disc player.
Yeah.
And he thought it was great. He thought, you know, it was the tits. And I was like, Dad, these are, you know what I mean? Like, But it's come in handy because every now and again when I do bust that box of CDs out, there's a little compact disc player in it that I can just, you know, stick into some speakers and actually listen to it. So how old was you when you started playing music? Did you say 14?
I was thinking about 13, 14, yeah.
Was it straight in with the guitar? You didn't
No,
play
well,
anything
what
else?
happened was, so I was hanging around with some friends who was all metalheads. I was like, you can be in the band if you get a bass guitar. Fair. So I went home and I said, Mum and Dad can get me a bass guitar. And the next day my dad turned up with a guitar.
Yeah. Oh, well, with a guitar, not a bass.
I want a bass. So I couldn't be in the band. And then it just kind of sat in the corner for a bit. And then I just started picking it up and making an absolute racket with it. And then over time, it got a little bit better. And then I got into writing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Writing really, like, simple songs and stuff, you know.
I can remember, obviously, The Accord. Was that the first band you had, The Accord?
Yeah, Garage Youth, which turned into
Garage Youth,
yeah,
of course,
the same members, just a different name.
And originally, was it you, Josh P, Taz and Blakey? Yeah, is that the original lineup?
Yeah, that's the classic.
Because there was, is it Weekend Sale? One of the singers.
Yeah.
See that? I still know the words to that. Do you know?
Yeah.
How old was you when you wrote that?
I'd have been about 15, 16.
So one of you
Me
early...
and Josh used to go around his house and just have these like writing sessions where we would just riff off each other and just play stuff. And it's a strange thing when you're younger. Songs just come so easy, like really quick, don't they? Like inspiration is just kind of like.
I think because of your limited skill set as well, innit?
Yeah.
Like you haven't got a massive bank of chords to pull from or anything, have you?
Yeah.
It's bare bones, isn't it?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Then eventually you get more experience and less inspiration. So it's kind of like you're less inspired, but what you'd make is of a better quality in general. You know what I mean?
We were chatting earlier in the early recording we did, and I was saying about how the best songs for me and for Healer are the ones that just fall out the sky.
Yeah,
you know, the ones where. You know, I'll bring a riff to practice, and 15 minutes later, that riff is now, you know, a verse, a chorus, a middle eight, and you won't really have to do any work on it. You Is it the same for you?
Yeah, I think all the good material kind of happens in a sort of weird space where you're not quite there with it. It just seems to happen naturally.
Yeah.
The more you overthink things, no one ever sits down and says, I'm going to write a great song.
That's
and
it,
then
innit?
writes a great song.
That's it, innit?
It always happens when you're noodling, watching telly or something, and it just falls.
To me as well, it's like when I say, I'm not doing out Saturday, I'm just going to spend some time making this or that. It never happens. Never happens. No. It's always when, like, I'm waiting to leave the house and, Sarah's finishing getting ready, and I just pick up the guitar for 5 minutes. Yeah. That's when the best things fall out of me, when I'm just nipping on the guitar.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So, with regards to your songwriting, what's the process? How does it come about?
For me, lately, it's kind of the same it's always been, which is that I'll mess about on a guitar. Or, to be honest, sometimes I come up with ideas when I'm just walking or driving. Just you get that sometimes. Yeah. You're just like in your head. If you haven't got an instrument at hand,
you just hear a melody and you hear a line.
Yeah, and then you instantly get your phone out and sort of record it. But what I tend to do now is I'll, as soon as I've got like the hook, because I think all great songs is about 30 seconds that are like, that's the song, you know what I mean? That's what makes it the chorus usually, or like a line or something.
Yeah.
And once I've got that, I just get the guitar out, get the phone out, and I'll just mumble loads of just sing something that sounds nice. It's just gibberish, basically.
Yeah.
And then I'll go back and write the words when I need to. But what I tend to do is because I'm working on an album at the moment, I'll do the whole album like that. So I'll just go like, that's track 1, that's track 2, track 3, and then we'll just go, we'll work on this one.
So you write your pieces of, your longer pieces, you write them in a chronology, do you?
Yeah.
All right, that's interesting.
All I'll have is like the chords, some of the words, and the melody, basically.
Yeah.
And then when we record it, we'll lay it all down, and then the final thing I do is the lyrics.
That's interesting. So you've not even really got it to any sort of point where it's finished.
What I'll kind of do is whatever falls out when I'm just sort of playing, whatever line it is, I'll be thinking, well, what is that, and what does that mean, and what's the song about, and then write everything else around that.
I've tried writing numerous songs, but I always struggle like with my writing lyric wise. I feel like everything I put on paper, if I revisit it 10 minutes after I've written it, just makes me cringe. And that's where, how can I overcome that? Does that happen to you? Is that something I've just got to learn? Or?
You get different kind of writers, so maybe just write to someone else's words or something. Because I find that really easy. If someone gives me some words and tells me to write a song around it, I find that incredibly easy, you know what I mean? Whereas I struggle with the words. I have to do it because I want it to be my words eventually.
Yeah.
But if someone gave me a set of lyrics, it'd be so much easier to write music around that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like just work to your strengths, isn't it,
Yeah, but I guess it's a muscle you got to train, innit? Like,
of course.
And I've tried, but I feel like that just, that cringing element of it when I'm reading my own lyrics back. And I don't know what it is, because I enjoy writing, but when it comes to writing lyrics, I just really struggle with that.
Me too.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't know it, mate, from, you've been prolific. I bet you've written hundreds and hundreds of songs by now, haven't you?
Yeah. 5 studio albums in this project. And then there's countless other bands I've been in, released albums with them. And then obviously Accord did 3 albums and EPs and compilations and stuff like that. So
Is there anything on the horizon for Love in Memory?
No, we're on a indefinite hiatus at the minute.
Oh, yeah.
It's strange actually because someone messaged me this morning asking where the album had gone on Spotify because it got deleted from release, and they were saying, I really like that album, can you put it back up? So I think it's time for us to maybe jump in and make some more. I miss playing like heavier music, like loud music, and just making a bit of a racket.
For me personally, it's probably my favourite sort of iteration of you.
A lot of people say that actually. Yeah.
You can really hear your influences from, like Slow Dive and Ride and My Bloody Valentine.
A big thing for me, and post rock and post punk, and to be honest, that's all a big thing again now. There's a lot. You got like Idols and Fontaines and stuff. It's all about more like abrasive, noisy kind of music. So maybe it's time to revive it.
Yeah. Why not? So, with your music, is it a reflection of who you are, or is it a reflection of who you want to be when you're writing and performing?
I suppose it's a bit of both, yeah. I think you have a kind of like a idealisation of yourself in your music, don't you? Like, you kind of see yourself as a different person in performance and stuff. But also, it's a big part of me. I mean, there's a lot of me and in my songs. A lot of it's like autobiographical to a degree.
Yeah.
But not necessarily straight away. Like a lot of times I write a song and then realise down the line, I'll be singing it, I'll be like, this is about something that happened at a certain time, or it's about someone, or, you know. But you don't necessarily realise it when you're writing it, you know.
That's interesting.
And sometimes, as well, meanings change over time.
And that's the beauty of music, isn't it? It's subjective.
Yeah,
you know, me and you could listen to the same piece of music and get a completely different feeling.
Yeah,
and
there's some of my favourite songs that I thought, this line's about this song is about this, and then later on found out it's not necessarily, and I just go, well, to me it is. Yeah.
So, have you ever had a moment when music's helped you process sort of difficult emotions or difficult periods of your life?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think it's all cathartic, really. I think that's the whole kind of process of it is, but it's a long process, you know. I think you have kind of like trauma or bouts of depression or something you're going through, and it's not like you're going through that, so you sit down and write the song. It's kind of like you go through that, and then it kind of matures into a creative process.
Yeah. It's like, I say a lot, but for me, it's like I feel compelled to particularly play music, but just be creative in general, you know. Things like this, it's like I can feel my self going stir crazy, you know, and it's like when I've not got anything creative or engaging to do in my life, that's when things start falling apart a bit.
Yeah.
Is it the same for you?
Yeah, and I think the most amazing thing about art and music and creation in general is like you go through something hard or whatever you've gone through, and then you create this piece of music or art out of it, and then someone will say to you, oh, that's beautiful. You know what I mean? And that's that's when it comes full circle, and that's why you do it all the time. You know? Because you need that feedback from other people. Because that's what you're trying to do, I suppose, eventually. It's like connect with other people through music. And by doing so, you're connecting with yourself as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the community is it's huge in music, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think those who don't prescribe to the sort of community aspect of music, they're probably not going to have a very good time with it.
No.
They're probably not going to get very far with it, because you can't be closed-minded with it, can you?
No, you can't, no.
I was saying earlier, it's great how around here in particular, everyone seems to bringing each other on at the minute.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, everyone's helping each other out, and
I
think that's why the community's thriving around here at the moment.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, a lot of the people who are playing around here is like they're all my friends, so it's just like it's amazing to see your friends having a great time and being creative, you know. And it's very eclectic, which is what I like.
There's been a revival, hasn't there, of kind of like myself. You know, I didn't play anything for sort of close to 10 years. You know, I wanted a band for close to 10 years because life got in the way and whatnot. But then it seems like everyone's kind of fell back into it at the same time. You know, you've got Leon Blanchard, who's put Tiny Giants together. Yeah. You've got Luke Parker, who's put Kid Spirit together.
Yeah.
Seems like almost like, I mean, you've been there throughout it all, but it's like all those like has-beens like having another go at it. Do you know what I mean?
But I've been in music for I've been doing it for 20 years or whatever, and I've met so many lovely people through it, and they're all interesting people through music. Yeah. And always so helpful to each other as well, you know, which is important.
Yeah. Have you met anyone who's been, you know, someone who you can't believe you're in the presence of being with, you know? Like for me, at Docksfest, I met Frank Turner.
Yeah.
And I was like a little girl, mate, when I see him. I was watching Lottery Winners side stage, and Jazz was there.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, Jazz. And he was like, Frank Turner's there. And I was like, Frank Turner.
Yeah.
And he looked round, and I was like, oh, so embarrassed. You know, I couldn't believe it.
With Chris Helm from the Seahorses.
Yeah.
He came to play at Waves. And at the time they didn't have a green room necessarily. They had this little space next to the stage with a sofa. And I was playing a song, and I just heard this noodling, like a solo over the song.
Yeah.
I'd not plugged in. And I looked over, and it was Chris Helm laid on a sofa playing along. And then at the end he came up and said, that song's brilliant. I was like, oh, thanks, Chris Helm.
It's your music certainly had some reach, hasn't it? I remember we went over to West Street Live together, didn't we?
Yeah.
We played in Sheffield. I remember it was at Soundcheck. Some random kid just come over, and he was like, are you from The Loving Memory?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah. Just some completely random kid who'd come across the album, wasn't it? Do you get that often with being so prolific?
And I live for that, really. You know what I mean? That's what makes it all worthwhile, is when people sort of enjoy what you do. And and it means something to them as well. That's the whole point of it for me, really.
Yeah, I love seeing a stranger in a Healer t-shirt.
Yeah, it's a fantastic feeling.
Yeah,
and you should be proud about it as well. Definitely.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. I tried to stay humble, but
of course, yeah.
It's when I was at Docksfest, I was walking past the main stage, and there was a woman wearing a Healer t-shirt, and I went, "I like your t-shirt." She had no fucking idea who I was. Do you know what I mean? I thought, you've got my band's t-shirt, and you haven't even got a clue who I am. This was halfway through the day. I probably looked like some sort of zombie. But moving on, when someone listens to your music, Sam, what's the one sort of message or feeling you want them to take away from it?
I always think in my songs as like there's kind of like equal measures of like joy and pain. You know what I mean? So I think there's a kind of like things will get better. You know? What I mean?
Yeah.
They might get worse, but they'll get better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I try and have a bit of positivity in it, but reality as well.
You've got a very broad sort of repertoire of songs, haven't you?
Yeah.
You're a bit of a genre hopper, really, aren't you? In a sense.
The new album's like literally half and half. Like there's a lot of loud stuff on it, and there's a lot of really chilled stuff on it.
To just divulge a bit more about the new album. Because it's expected for release in May, isn't it? 16th of May.
We've got 3 months to finish it up.
Yeah.
But we're like a third of the way through, and not all the writing's done.
Yeah.
So I've written the whole album, and I'm not going to say it's like a complete sidestep. It's definitely like me. It definitely sounds like me, but there's definitely like 2 or 3 songs on there that are something I haven't done before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with like how it's going so far. And it's just a case of getting it finished up and released.
Is there any collaborations planned for it or anything like that, or who can we expect to hear on the album?
No, not really. It's quite sort of sparse and like just quite simple songs. Apart from a couple that are quite sort of loud, sort of driving tunes. You know what I mean? So as much as I always say every time I'm going to do like an acoustic album.
Yeah.
And then I just can't let go of like, I just like rock music too much. Like, go with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a nice mix, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And you're going to be releasing that 16th of May, correct? Yeah.
Comes out on the day of the Central Hall gig at 16th of May.
Tell the listeners more about the launch. What can people expect from the launch?
So I'll be playing with a full 6-piece band at Central Hall on 16th of May.
And is it in the big room or the...
It's in the Leo Solomon Hall, is it?
Yeah, the second biggest, yeah.
Fantastic room for live music. We've got 2 amazing supports, Lola and the Cosmic Getaway and Joyride. Tickets are £10 each from Eventbrite. Or we have wristbands as well, so which are delivered to your house.
Free of charge.
Free of charge, yeah.
So yeah, if anyone wants any tickets for that, just hit us up or hit Sam up through any of his pages. I think Samuel Simmons on most things, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. I went to Central Hall last week. Amy. Yeah. So met her at an event at McMenamin's, and she was saying about the rooms they've got on offer there. So me and Steve went down last week, and we're going to be moving in there. We've taken on a practice room there. Yeah.
Well, some good bands in there already, isn't there?
Yeah, I think they've got Shines in there, Kid Spirit. I think Smithy from Orphan Boy's got his own little. He's got his own little room in there.
It's an amazing space all around, really.
So good, isn't it? So good. The little Fisherman's Chapel that's in there.
Yeah, that's nice as well. Yeah, I had the pleasure of playing in there. Yeah.
Good for a video, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
If not a bit weird, but
got enough videos in there now.
Have you? In the main hall, yeah. I don't think I've seen anyone use that little chapel though.
No, that'd be nice, definitely.
It would be, wouldn't it? A bit odd though. But the room she's given us, it's great. It's so when you're in the main room on the stage, and you look straight ahead and up, there's like a little window where some sort of lighting engineer or someone. Yeah. We've rented that sort of bit of the West Wing. Yeah, so that window is in our room. Oh, fantastic. So I've got that room. I've got another separate room as like a bit of a chill out space.
So you're overlooking the main hall.
Yeah. So like that sort of service window where I assume a lighting engineer would have been up there back in the day.
Yeah.
But we've got that a little room next to it, and then we've got our own little. It's almost like a balcony with views of the Dock Tower. So we're going to move in there in a couple of weeks, and I think it's going to be the best thing for us.
Yeah. Awesome,
I mean, shout out Leon at Cornerstone. He's got a great place there.
He has, yeah.
But he's so busy, it's in such high demand. if we miss a practice, that's it, we're stuffed. We can't get in that week. So I think that's going to help us leaps and bounds.
Space, definitely.
Yeah. What do you do about space? I guess mostly you're just at home, are you?
No, I've been at White's Road for years.
Yeah.
You've been to White's Road before?
I have, several times, yeah.
So a lot of bands have passed through there, yeah.
You in the back room?
The middle one, in a way, because there's one across the road from there, across the way. There's like 3 or 4 down there.
Is there? Yeah. Because there was the one that Rob had, wasn't there? Rob Distant.
Yeah.
Oh, you got
Distant. No.
Yeah. But then there's kind of one behind it where you get in the side door, isn't it? Is that the one you're at?
That's us,
yeah. It's a high traffic room there. So Sam, short and sweet one today, but we've got to get set up for tonight's gig. So what do you expect from tonight's gig? It's your first time playing on one of our Sabre Sessions events, isn't it?
It is. I can't wait. To be honest, it's been a long time since I've done a full set of originals, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Just playing some of my own songs. Yeah, I can't wait.
Be good. Brilliant. Thanks ever so much for coming down, Sam.
Thank you.
Listeners, if you've liked what you heard, please hit the like and subscribe button.